Breaking news we've been following all morning. 6 people were shot overnight in Westport. 5 people hurt, 1 person dead. KSHB 41 News anchor Taylor Hemnes has been live there all morning. So, Taylor, what's the latest? What do we know this morning?
Danielle, Ray, good morning. You can see the traffic now moving behind me. This all was closed off when we first came on the air this morning for about 2 blocks from Westport Road all the way down to 43rd, and that is no longer the case. They opened that up about half an hour ago when KC Police cleared this scene and opened it back up to traffic. Right before they did that, they brought 4 vehicles away from Westport Ale House on tow trucks. The 2 of them that I saw that had the back of their cars potentially blown out there by gunfire, I can only assume, because the back windshields were shattered there. The other 2 I couldn't tell, but they were moving pretty quickly as they left the scene there this morning. We want to show you a little bit more of Westport Ale House. I'm going to step out so my photographer can see it. We're looking there live this morning. That scene, as I mentioned, is clear, and we've not seen any I got a little bit closer this morning. Didn't see any gunfire or broken windows around there just yet. We are going to check in with Danielle Leon in just a moment. She's a little bit closer than I am. We did hear last night from Bill Lowe with the Missouri State Highway Patrol. They're involved in the investigation because officers were involved in that shooting. Here's what he had to say.
You know, it's a busy area. A lot of people like to come, whether it's Sunday night or Saturday night or Friday night. So, you know, in a situation like this, you can't really predict something that's going to happen, but there were precautions taken by the ale house.
So I mentioned my colleague Daniela Leon is also live here this morning. I want to check in with her because, Daniela, now that this scene has been cleared, you've been able to move closer to the ale house, I believe. Tell us what you can see now that you're a little bit closer to what happened last night.
Hey, yes, good morning, Taylor. I'm right outside Ale House where it's quiet right now. Much different scene than what it was hours ago when that shooting took place around 11 o'clock, and even compared to 20 or 30 minutes ago when officers were still on scene actively working on this investigation. But now that the sun is out, you guys, and I'm able to see kind of firsthand all the damage that the shooting took place, you can see right now this parked Toyota that's outside of Ale House. It was hit by one of those bullets. Again, very chaotic scene. In fact, I spoke to a witness who was out here late last night. He actually heard the shooting taking place, that is. He's a veteran, and he says based on his military experience, it sounded like an assault rifle going off. However, we have yet to confirm what weapons were used in the shooting, but he says as soon as those shots started to go off, people hit the ground. Here's his account.
These weapons out here don't belong in the street because basically we're just out here sitting ducks, you know, waiting for something to happen. We're just out trying to have a good time, and all this mess happens here. It's just sad. It's just sad. And I know the mayor and everybody's trying to do what they can, the chief of police, but it's just not enough right now.
And he was very emotional, as you heard from that soundbite. Again, several cars were involved in the shooting. Not sure what this involvement is on this Toyota. Again, it's just parked outside here of Ale House this morning. Williams, again, was just out with a couple of friends, and he says after the shooting, he's unclear whether, or unsure rather, if he'll make it back to Westport. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, Daniela, thank you. Unfortunately, this is not the first shooting we've covered in the Westport area. I've talked to a couple of people who've been walking by this morning who just kind of shook their head when I told them what else was happening or why we're out here live this morning. And one even said, another shooting in Westport. Let's talk about security just a little bit as we talk about what happened last night. Westport, since 2018, has had that security screening added area there for added safety, but this only happens on Friday and Saturday nights during the warmer months of the year, like we're on right now, not on Sunday nights. The website for Westport KCMO says on Friday and Saturday nights from 11 to 3, there's a required safety scan for weapons for anyone entering the pedestrian-only area. Enhanced security screening involves people emptying their purses, emptying their pockets, walking through a metal detector, much like you would do if you're going to a Royals game or to a concert. Once you're cleared through a metal detector, you still have to have that valid ID to show you're 21 years old and old enough to be inside. But that was not necessarily the case last night. Now, we want to show you the security screening stations on this map. Westport Ale House, not within those screening areas. Now, we've talked to people this morning and members of our staff who've said they've been there before on Sunday nights, even even on Friday and Saturday nights. Even though they're not in that map, very clearly they have security in place to check your purses, check your pockets whenever you come in. You already heard us mention this morning there were 3 off-duty KCPD officers there working security last night. Now, Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas so far has not made any statements about the shooting last night. He's actually in Washington, D.C. this morning, ironically enough, to celebrate the signing of the bipartisan gun safety bill, which he's been a big part of. He and KCPD Interim Chief Joe Mabin met with the president and senior Department of Justice leaders this summer about building safer communities. Mayor Lucas, the co-chair of Mayors Against Illegal Guns, so he's taken a very active role in trying to prevent things like this happening all across the country. Unfortunately, we had another one here in Kansas City last night. 1 person dead, 5 others shot and in the hospital this morning. Right back to you.
Heartbreaking there. Taylor, thank you so much. We're going to continue to follow this story, and we'll have more updates throughout the day, both on air and online at kshb.com.